Jay here, Stretford, Paddock, Manchester United 3, Norwich City 2. United still somehow in the top 4 hunt. We chatted to Stephen Howson. I say we, the royal we. I chatted to Stephen Howson to get his take on a day that saw Cristiano Ronaldo get yet another hat-trick. Obviously, 3-2, it's a win. Ronaldo hat-trick. Arsenal and Spurs lose. On paper, you look like happy days, but it wasn't a great performance, was it? And it seems like a lot of the fans are rightfully worrying about the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was quite ordinary, really. And to be honest, you don't need more than ordinary to get past Norwich on any given day. They're terrible. But they carved us open. And that's worrying because I've just had a bit of a glance at what Liverpool have just done to Manchester City. That's our next game. Yes, Arsenal have dropped points. Yes, Spurs have dropped points. We're not quite in the driving seat just yet with any of this. And I don't see how United pick up points against teams that aren't properly shit like Norwich, because we were very, 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 very close to dropping points ourselves there today.
You use the word worrying, and I'm trying to be optimistic going in towards Anfield, Steve, but I'm struggling. How worried are you going into that game after what you've seen from Liverpool this season and what you've seen from us?
It's not just about what we've seen this season. What we've seen from Ralph. I think Ralph's had a bit of a peppering of abuse lately. I don't know what people thought was going to happen. He was told he was going to be an interim manager, keep the ship alive. I think for the most part, his decisions have been good decisions. There's not many decisions he's played. People will go, well, what about playing Maguire? Okay, well, who else do you want to play? Right? Phil Jones played, what, one fucking game and got injured again, right? Who else do you want him to play? Varane, permanently broken. Eric Bailly, permanently broken. Unless you want him to start one of the under-16s, and some people will be like, yeah, I actually do. Well, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? Like, Maguire is a poor defender, but he's an available defender. So when it comes to the decision-making and the things that Ralph has actually controlled and the things he's got right and the things he's got wrong, one thing I can say that I do believe is something under Ralph's control is our defensive setup in the bigger games. Manchester United haven't had one good defensive performance under Ralph Rangnick. We haven't necessarily been completely tatered in those games, which we've seen from United this season, like under Ollie at home with the Scousers. But we also haven't looked good. Like the game against Manchester City was shocking. And the games against Atletico were shocking. We don't look like we're capable of, like under Ollie, I could confidently tell you, yeah, I think we could get something right or wrong against Liverpool. This season, obviously, would have been proper wrong. But in previous seasons, we've seen this Manchester United side under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer go, play on the back foot, play on the counter, and get something out of them games. We haven't seen anything of the like of that under Ralph. So I couldn't sit here and say to you, I think we've got half a chance of getting something out of the game. Because even if you've got a tactic, producing that against Liverpool, you know, everyone's got a tactic to know how to stop them. But being able to do that because they're so good is just not a thing that happens at the moment. So, yeah, I am worried, Jay, because I think we're going to get fucking battered.
I wish I could disagree with you, Steve, but I feel the same way. I just want to ask you a little bit about the atmosphere in Old Trafford today, because I wasn't there today, but I've heard a few people have been in my chat and I've seen stuff online. It sounds like, I don't know what I use the word toxic, but it sounds like, I'm not just talking about the protest, which is fine and it's right, and I understand that, but inside the ground, it sounds like people weren't really too happy, shall we say.
There's been elements of that, I think, all season, and there's been elements of that with certain players for a while. Pogba being a big one of those. He got pelters at the end of last season, if you remember, and had an argument with the bottom of the Stretford end. And I believe that's happened again today, where he got booed. Didn't see that, so can't comment on what I've not seen, but I can believe it. And some people have said that they heard it on the TV, so I can absolutely believe it. I don't support booing, but I understand the sentiment. I think there's going to be a lot of the players that play today that will not be around next season, and I think Paul Pogba is very much likely to be one of them. I think the timing of, oh, he might sign a contract now, we've offered him $500,000, has got up people's skin a little bit. And I think they're right to be aggrieved. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with booing, but I think whatever people want to do is whatever people want to do, and it clearly wasn't one bloke. It sounds like it was more than one person, so people are upset with him.
Just finally, Steve, you've got players like Lingard who played today, Pogba who plays today, who are out of contract.
I had to check that Lingard played today because, to be honest, he was fucking anonymous.
Right, okay. Well, trust me, he did. If you're Ralph Rangnick, do you just play the players that you know are going to be here next season? I know you're not going to be the manager, or do you play your best players, whether that is Lingard or Paul Pogba or whoever? How do you go into these last 7 games or whatever it is we've got left?
There's no right answer, is there? Yeah. The right answer is the one that gets us top 4, probably. But apart from that, there's not really any sort of correct answer with this. What you should do and what you will do might end up being completely different things. And some players that you might think will be around here next year might end up getting sold. I think we've got such an imbalance in the squad. I mean, the fact that you've got the likes of Lingard and Mata as attacking midfield options that we probably know will not be here next season. When I think a lot of us would probably want to see the likes of Garnacho or Mabry given an opportunity. But if we're being real with ourselves, I thought Juan Mata came on today and was probably our best performer, Ronaldo aside. I think, is Mabry going to have... He might be an exciting talent, he might have loads of potential, but is he going to do anything like what Juan Mata did? Is he going to take all of the game by the scruff of the neck like that? I'd be very surprised. I think he's a talented player with a lot of potential, but I think you've got to temper the expectation of what you think these lads are going to do. They can add a little bit of a fire in the final third sometimes, but you rarely see an 18-year-old on his debut control a game. And United lack controlling games. So I'm all for giving the youngsters a chance. And I do think when you do give youngsters a chance, invariably they somehow end up scoring. Every single youngster seems to score when they make their Manchester United debut or early in their Manchester United career. It's weird. Whether it's destiny, whether it's just something that they've worked for forever, where it's a lack of fear, whether it's everyone on the team sort of looking out for them to make it happen. I don't know what it is, but we've got this uncanny knack of youngsters being able to deliver in their first few games. And I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that. From a fan perspective, a bit of a glimpse of the future while this season's effectively dead would be fantastic. But realistically, the pressure is going to be on Ralph. Especially, here's the thing, Ralph's not going to be like, thank you, good night, and walk out the door next month. He's probably going to be sticking around for a couple more years, hopefully to transform the shit show that we're in. So he's kind of under a lot of pressure to get top 4, because then he can say, well, against all odds, I pulled out top 4, I brought you Erik ten Hag in, I brought you these transfers in, and then his future career ends up being a little bit more rosy than the guy that came in and effectively did fuck all for 6 months at United, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, very true. I mean, listen, I'm with you on that. I mean, there's part of me that thinks, yeah, just throw in the likes of Garnacho and Mejbri and all these other players, and there's part of me that thinks you don't want to be wrecking these players before they've got going. It is a weird one. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Some of that he's got to work out. Steve, always great chatting to you. Thanks for coming on as usual, and we'll speak to you. Well, I'll see you on Monday, won't I? See you later, bro. So that was Steve's take on it. He's a little bit worried about the trip to Anfield. He's not alone. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. If you're not doing so already, why not? Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are sharing and liking as well. This has been the post-match reaction from Stephen Howson and me, Jay Motti. Thanks for watching.